Here we are, the two goons, Mo and Jon. We're waiting to board a flight to Vietnam. We were going to land in Ho Chi Minh City and plan to ride motorbikes 2,000 kilometers across Vietnam and finish Hanoi all in about 25 days. Sounds easy enough. The not so simple part was that we purposely planned absolutely nothing. No bike lessons, no reservations at fancy hotels. In fact, we hadn't even organised a prepaid taxi to get us from the airport into town. Ultimately, we wanted to put a prolific quote to the test, that it was all about the journey rather than the destination itself. Being aspiring video journalists, we also added an extra element to the trip. We would document the entire experience. And so here it is, our greatest trek. We've flown into Ho Chi Minh City, known to historians as Saigon, and with a population of over 9 million people, almost everyone gets around on mechanical two-wheel death machines. Within hours of touching down in Ho Chi Minh City, we began lining up a couple of hogs for ourselves.
Alright, so we've had a bit of luck. We were looking for a place to buy a bike. We ended up stumbling onto this guy who's selling two Honda Winds, which is exactly the bike we're looking for. So we're going to meet him outside here in a little while and see if we can close this deal. And also we got our phones done. That was the two things that we needed to get done today, bikes and phone. If we can get that done, we'll have accomplished today's mission, and the end of the day beer is going to go down very nicely.
This was a huge coup. We'd been told that the roads ahead were very hilly and that the Honda Winds were the best bikes for the trip. So to have two of them lined up was incredible. But we still had to await confirmation, as it attracted a bit of interest. With this in mind, we set out to explore Ho Chi Minh City and capture the people that live here going about their day. What we saw was somewhat remarkable. Through the blur of chaos slide individual stories. The anarchy, mixed with the humidity inside the famed Ben 10 market, made for a sensory overload. The streets, the traffic, the activity. To take a step back and watch the days of millions unfold felt like we had a golden ticket to the theatre of life. To think that we would be calling Vietnam home for the next 4 weeks was undescribable. But when we received a phone call confirming that the bikes were ours, did it only really start to sink in.
Yeah, no worries, we'll come meet you there. Alright, cool. Alright, see you soon. He's at that Buffalo joint.
Lying in the heart of Ho Chi Minh City lies an area called District 1. It's home to many famous buildings, such as the City Opera House and the Reunification Palace. It is also home to two of the most popular tourist areas, Dong Hoi and our base of operations, Pham Nhu Lao. It is here that we would not only exchange money for machines, but would also have our first and only motorbike lesson with our trusty Swedish wheeler and dealer, Jonas. Within 24 hours of flying into Ho Chi Minh City, there we were, on the side of Pham Nhu Lao Street, having for the first time in either of our lives, a lesson on how to ride a motorbike. With traffic flowing past us and the stares of onlookers felt on our foreheads, we'd be lying if we said that we weren't feeling a bit of pressure. Our instructor, speaking in incoherent broken English, did his best to tell us how to operate the bikes. But it felt like it was going in one ear and out the other. Getting into first gear and rolling 10 meters down the road felt like the world's biggest achievement. But then the thought of trying to ride 2,000 kilometers over the next 4 weeks was the kind of kick in the balls to your confidence you don't particularly want. Not when all you can think about is not letting the clutch out a bit too quickly.
Yeah, use your foot brake. Oh, yep. Just do that for a couple of times. Just go and stop, go and stop.
As darkness fell on our last day in Ho Chi Minh, we kicked back to the street-side bar and contemplated what it was we were about to undertake. The sheer volume of traffic on the roads had taken us by surprise. Perhaps what we wanted to do was Well, mere stupidity. And why had a passenger coach pulled up right in front of our table, teasing us with an easier option to get around this country? Were we going to get out of Ho Chi Minh City tomorrow alive?
Mo, what are you reading?
Figuring out how to get out of this town tomorrow morning. Looking at the maps. But it's staring at it. Can't quite know what to do yet. Tomorrow's going to be interesting.
Consists of 2,700 different species in the natural world.
It's day 3 of the greatest trek, and the day has finally arrived for us to strap our bikes onto the back of our newly brought hogs and ride on out of Ho Chi Minh City in a blaze of glory. After some thorough research, we decided to head 38 kilometers out of Ho Chi Minh to a town called Cu Chi. Cu Chi is home to the Cu Chi Tunnels, an elaborate underground tunnel system that stretches over 250 kilometers. It provided a defensive refuge advantage over US soldiers during the Vietnam War. We'd been told that we'd be able to explore the tunnels and also fire live weaponry. But first, we needed to get out of Ho Chi Minh City. The night before, we moved our bikes to an underground car park to keep them safe, but so did about half the population of residents in Ho Chi Minh City. After a few speedy hot laps of the underground garage and many "are they still here" moments, we finally found where we'd left our glorious death machines and began the agonizing task of tying our oversized potato sacks to the back of the hogs.
Oh, it's so ridiculously hot in here. We've only been here like not even 10 minutes, and I'm just glistening with sweat.
Balancing our rucksacks on the back of the bikes was by far easier said than done. Also, the fact that our hands were all but shaking by this point meant that it took a few goes to finally get them firmly strapped on. Probably the best bit of luck was awaiting us out the front of the car park. A whole block of land had been gated off, which gave us the perfect opportunity to hone our newfound bike skills without fear of being wiped off the face of the earth by a fast-moving vehicle. Our master plan was one of severe complexion. Follow a busy-looking main road until we could spot signs that pointed to Cu Chi. Terrible idea. Luckily, a local spotted the fear trickling down our foreheads and offered to guide us out. This was it, the moment we'd been waiting for, and also dreading. The time to begin the most ridiculous adventure of our lives. And it was all to start with Patney making the call.
Should we get out of here?
The greatest trek, the first kilometres, probably our last kilometres. It's extremely difficult to keep track of where we're meant to be headed. There's a local girl somewhere up ahead. I can't even see her anymore. She said just to follow her. And I'm too scared to look behind me to see if Mo's still trailing me.
We were just leaving where we were staying from the parking lot, and we followed this Vietnamese girl who said she would take us out. And we've lost Patney on the way. I don't know where he is. He's obviously falling behind, but if you just look at this traffic, it's so hard to ride in. So at the moment I'm just here on the side of the road at some scooter shop. Rwanda's okay. That's why I bought a Rwanda, but more importantly, I don't know where Patney is, or the girl that we were riding behind is going to find us, so hopefully it's found pretty soon. Fucking stupid, I don't have his mobile number or anything, so I mean, I'm gonna have to email him or some shit if she doesn't come back. Fuck.
Thankfully, the locating of an internet cafe and the sending of an emergency SOS email was not required, as 100 meters down the road, we were reunited. We hugged, we kissed, and we also ended up attracting the attention of some curious onlooking locals.
Everton.
Ticker Hill.
What Everton?
Ticker Well.
Time was, however, of the essence, and our unexpected pit stop was cut short with the need to push on for Ho Chi. It seemed the further we rode out from Ho Chi Minh, the more wild the roads were becoming. 40 kilometers on the map didn't look like a long way, but we were quickly discovering that at the speeds we were forced to ride at, it was going to take us the whole day. After about 4 hours of riding, we decided to pull over for a bite to eat. We stopped at one of the many makeshift shops lining the side of the roads and purchased a briefcase of dong worth of potato chips. We tried to talk to anyone that could understand English, as our concerns grew over whether or not we were even heading in the right direction.
We're headed to these tunnels, the Ho Chi tunnels, which I don't think is actually their name, because whenever we mention it, no one seems to understand what we're going on about. We pointed it out on our little map here, and it seems to be a left for like 20 kilometers, and we should be there, and then we'll see what we find when we get there.
Onwards we trekked in our own mini Grand Prix, where for us the gold medal would go to the rider who went the slowest. It took us over 6 hours to ride the measly 38 kilometers to get us outside of Ho Chi Minh and into the historical town of Ho Chi.
Okay, wow. We've just been through our first taste of Vietnam highways, and it was insane out there. The amount of trucks and cars just flying around was, yeah, do you want to?
Yeah. So we got a bit lost on the way. Here we went down pretty much went down one of the main highways. It was just insanely busy. Then we realized we got lost and we had to turn around. And we finally started to get out of that, the busy highways and all that kind of thing. And there was like sprouts of, there was some rice paddies and some rivers starting to form.
Very beautiful what we did see. But so far we're still in like the main, civilization area.
Yeah.
We haven't really made that much progress in terms of going out into the hillside.
We've got 4 weeks of this.
Yeah, so it's 5 o'clock. We've got about an hour of light left. We haven't yet found the tunnels, but we think we know where they are. I'm guessing they're going to close them at night. So maybe the first thing to do will just be to find a place to
We haven't even got a place to sleep.
And eat, and then tell us tomorrow, I guess.
We dumped our bags at the first hotel we could find and walked into a restaurant where English was as foreign as the food they were serving up. What you getting?
Just going to grab that rice with some vegetables.
The veggie?
See what comes up.
I'm going to choose which frog I'm going to have for dinner, pretty much. Or maybe a snake. Can I choose a frog? Yeah. This little guy's going in my belly.
We chose our frog, they cooked it, and we chowed down on a feast fit for kings.
Just like eating any other animal, I guess. Yeah. The back is like so... it's so tough.
After our meal, we kicked back and enjoyed one too many 333s, the local beer of choice, and eventually called it a day.